What the heck is going on? What up, everybody? Happy Monday. I'm not too sure what is going on with my screen right now. Okay. Happy Monday, everybody. Cheers for hanging out with us tonight. We got Vixen. Hi, buddy.
Hey there. Hi.
Everything was working fine, and next you know, it started getting stuck on me.
Technology. It happens.
Yeah, all right. Oh, man. Appreciate you. How's your Monday going?
Not bad. It's a Monday, but not bad. Just taking a break
Right.
from work.
Man.
So, want to tell us a little bit
I
about tonight's
apologize
guest?
to everybody. What is going on here? Is there a delay on my end?
Nothing major that I can tell.
Hello.
Hi, Crimson.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Hey, you fixed the background. Yeah, what do we do? Okay, everybody's here. Well, that needs some practice.
Yeah, bro. It's just I'm having a bad delay on my end. I'm not sure what's going on. It was not.
You're good. You sound like you're on cue here or in sync here.
All right, well, cheers.
Wait, wrong band. Bye.
What is going on?
Hello, everyone.
Is it going again?
All right, so you want to introduce your guest, shall we?
Cheers. Yes, we have Dennis tonight. We have Crimson, and we have Ms. Vic. I am having. What is going on with my phone?
There is a delay. Probably gonna have. We're gonna kick him out, and he's gonna come back in. Everything was going fine until he went live. Hi, welcome everybody. Welcome to Grow Me Talk. We got Big Flower and Dennis from APSU Soil talking about living soil and super soils with his veteran-owned company.
Glad to have you here.
Greenier's having technical malfunctions, but he will be back momentarily. Until then, dang it! I was good. Oh, now you got that echo. All right, I can mute that one, right? Greenier, that's not helping. There you go. Now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, if Greenier's not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer.
Well, why don't I just tell you about
Crimson Show?
Yes, let's get Dennis to just do an introduction of who he is and what he does. Ready, go.
Hey, everybody. My name is Dennis. I've been growing for almost 20 years. I started when I got out of the military in 2012. And so I got out in California. While on my last deployment, I went to Afghanistan, and I got to see some hash farms. And the hash farmers seemed to be pretty cool. They were probably some of my favorite people that I met while deployed. And so I was able to snag some seeds. and I made my way back to the U.S. and I got out. And, being in California, the first thing I had to do was smoke some weed on my first day out. And so I started growing the first day that I got out. I actually took like a month of leave for my, terminal leave, and ended up in college. And, within a week or two, I already had plants in every single room. So I started growing a long time ago in California. And through there, I was able to make my way up to Northern California. to a place called West Point in Calaveras County, and really cool place. And so I was able to grow on an outdoor farm for 4 years, and so the plant count was pretty high, and we made our own soils, and that's really where I got my start making soil. And so my original recipe is pretty much based off of that. And so in 2017, I moved to DC, and then in DC I was consulting, and I would make soil for people, and one thing leads to another, and I started making soil. So that's where I am today. I started my company in 2020. We're 4 years old in September, and I love soil. Yeah, I love getting people to grow. I my main inspiration is trying to get as many new growers growing as possible, and to get them into this hobby, because we need as much representation as we can get. And even if they don't personally smoke, I'm sure they know somebody that does or could use the medicine. And so I just try to motivate and inspire people with my grows, to show them that it's definitely possible to grow world-class weed and award-winning weed. In fact, somebody just won a cannabis cup yesterday with the soil. Let me shout them out real quick.
Hell yeah.
That is right.
What's their name?
I wonder if I have that up. No, I don't have that up.
So shout out to this person, the Cannabis. They recently took home the People's Choice Award and Best Indoor yesterday.
Nice.
At the.
Let's go.
Hold on, let me tell you which competition it was.
It's like let's grow instead.
Yeah, so I haven't kept track of how many cannabis cups we've won with the soil, but it's a lot. There's a lot of people that have won, so it's like a championship award-winning blend for sure.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna do my first win in it.
Yeah, hell yeah. There's nothing that can hold you back. So I started in 2020. Well, really, I started in like making soil for other people in 2018. I started my LLC in 2020, and then from there, I've been mixing all different types of soils. I have 5 recipes now. I have 5 amendment kits, and I also have a foliar feed in a cover crop. And everything that I have is based off my growing methods. It's not really trying to fill in any type of niches in the market. I'm making the products that I've been using for over 16 years. So, everything that I might use in my daily regimen is what I'm producing. And that's what I'm recommending to people, because it's what works. And I think the coolest thing about me is that I've been growing the same strain for over a decade. So I've gotten really familiar with what I've been growing, so I can tell immediately what differences certain inputs make, or the amount of an input might make. And over the past 16 years, I've been able to fine tune this recipe. I've taken stuff out that doesn't make a difference. I've added stuff that makes a bigger difference. And what it is now is I think perfect. I don't think you can make a better soil at any price. I'm trying to make the very best soil that is available. And I don't change my recipe. So nothing has been changed ever. Like the recipe is the original recipe from 2020 that I introduced. And it's, for me, it's consistency, because growers depend on that consistency. And if you start switching up the recipes and stuff, it starts making it difficult for growers to calculate what they need and how to grow with it. And so, that's me. I own APSU Soil, apsusoil.com. I make living organic soils. If I don't get the ingredients, I just won't make the soil. So that's basically me. Is there anything you want to start with?
Well, I want to apologize again for the technical difficulties, even though we've been chatting for a little bit before this started. Internet just likes to have its.
It happens. You just roll with it.
Yeah, I was like, but definitely want to shout you out again for coming out with us and hanging out tonight and speaking to educational.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Like you've been mentioning, you've been growing your soil for 16 years, or you've been using that method for quite a bit. So you've been experimenting, and you've been growing that same strain too. So you've just been developing to its finest.
Yeah,
so, it is definitely something interesting to hear. Shout outs to everybody in the chat: Charisma, ACL Wolf, Miss Grind, Root Nerds, SCA Wolf.
I can't see the chat, but thanks for coming to watch. I really appreciate y'all.
Oh, if you
I had to bring it.
Chat button, you should see it in the corner.
There's like a private chat and a comments chat.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
hey everybody. I thought we were alone in here.
Nope. We got 11 great people right now.
No,
man. I just found it too.
One thing we talked about before the live started, Dennis, was you wanted to go over, and this is something I really love, is like the water only aspect of the super soil, the main just water only soil, and how easy it is to get somebody started and focusing on other things like environments when they don't have to worry about their soil. So let's go over that.
Yeah, sure. So this is my super soil. These are my new bags. And it's a water only recipe. So I think that's best for beginners, right? So they can dial in their environment and worry about the other aspects of growing first. Because without a good environment and without good IPM practices and good watering and all that stuff, and attention to detail and notes and stuff, you can't really be that successful. And so with a good soil, especially a water only soil, you can basically tell people, hey, learn how to actually grow first, and then you can start modifying the soil how you want. You don't want those inconsistencies in the soil and then realize that your problem is actually your soil and not your environment, or vice versa. And so I think starting with a consistent soil that is a water only soil is probably the key to a lot of people's success. There's a lot of people that get discouraged, especially when I started my company, like the options were very slim. And so you get Fox Farm or you get ProMix or whatever it is. And halfway through, you're getting frustrated because you're running out of food. And so removing the variables is the best thing to do for beginners, especially the ones that not everybody is at the same level, And some people have more patience than others. And so it's good to give them a product or it's more a solution for those people. And also there's a lot of growers that don't have the time to make soil. And so this is the most heavily amended soil you'll be able to make and still actually sprout a seed in it. And so that's
true.
Really
it's not
important.
Hot for seedlings.
Yeah, I think that's really important, because you can starting your seedling in the same medium that you're going to be finishing in is going to ensure consistent moisture so like if you were to start your clone in like a plug, right? That plug is going to hold water differently than the soil surrounding it. So you're making two different environments, right? And these two different environments are going to support different things. And so what you really want is consistency across the whole spectrum. You don't want your root ball to be in like a foamy material or or anything like that that's going to retain water really heavily, more so than the neighboring environment, right?
Yeah, putting my example for that would be like putting a Rockwool cube in a cocoa solo cup, because the cube's going to take longer to dry back than the cup.
Right, and it's going to start giving you issues. And so, with this soil blend, you can start your clones in it, you can start your seeds in it, you can top dress with it, you can mix it with anything. It's a soil conditioner. It's so ACL Wolf, it's good for about 3 cycles. So the first cycle, it starts to get warmed up. The second cycle is going to be your best. And then the third cycle is going to start tapering off. And then you want to hit it with the supercharge. So the supercharge is all the nutrients and all the minerals that are in the super soil at the same ratios. And then what you can do is you can just re-amend and you're back to normal again. But most of the time, if you're doing,
I wish I knew that sooner.
Give me one sec.
You're good.
Most of the time, if you're growing correctly and you're actually doing a good job growing, this is going to turn to plant material before you run out of nutrition. That's it. So that's an important thing to know. So yeah, this recipe I've been working on. I worked on from 2012 to basically 2018, 2019, and just fine tuning little pieces here and there. And now it's 16 total ingredients. It's let me tell you, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 nutrients. Sorry, 6, 7. 7 nutrients and 6 minerals, and the rest is the base mix. So I don't use any perlite, and I basically it's half compost, half aeration, and water retention, and that's the base mix. And you can do that at home. You don't have to get my soil. You can do that at home, and you can make your own super soil with this.
I think it's very light and fluffy.
Our soil cooks for six weeks total. So it takes 6 weeks to make 1 batch of soil. And we have a very limited amount of space to make that soil. So we sell out pretty much every batch. Yeah, so I could rush it, or I could make it less amended, and it might take less time to cook, but it just wouldn't be the same thing. So it's kind of like, at this point, it's I feel like it's art, it has to cook 6 weeks. So yeah, let me not get on a tangent. Mm-hmm. So I have 5 different soil recipes. The super soil is the water only recipe. My living soil is comparable to all the other living soils, like Detroit Nutrient Company, Sohum, and along the lines, right? It's just a living soil. The super soil is also a living soil. Every soil I make is a living soil, right? But the super soil is just extremely heavily amended, so you can just do water only. The living soils are for people that like to experiment, or maybe have less nutrient dependent crops, like regular vegetables and not cannabis. Things that are squishy, like let's say tomatoes or pumpkins or things like that. The more squishy and the more fruity it is, I wouldn't say fruity, the more it's vegetable-y and not more like a root, that's going to require the most amount of nutrition to make. And so the super soil is good for that type of stuff. And then the living soil is really good for stuff that maybe takes half the amount of food. And so you combine that with teas and top dresses and stuff, and you can grow cannabis just fine. But I prefer the super soil for cannabis itself. And I have 3 other soils, but we'll just cover them real quick. I have a tropic soil, which is based off of soil samples from Congo in the Amazon rainforest. So what I did was I had actual samples, and I slurried them together, and then I tested them, and I made basically a soil that checks both boxes for any type of variety, because a lot of our flowers come from the Amazon. So a lot of the flowers you get in your bouquets and stuff, they're Amazon flowers. And so a lot of the flowers we like to grow at home, they actually came from the Amazon, or parts of Africa, tropical parts of Africa. And so combining these two soil samples and making my own based off of those samples, make it applicable to a lot of varieties of plants. And even you can grow fruit trees in it. You can grow anything you can imagine in the tropic soil. And then I have a desert soil, and that's more for cactuses and succulents and things that are arid. And so that sample is actually from an Afghan hash farm. So it's actually really good to grow hash plants and kush plants in, believe it or not. Sounds weird to use desert soil for those varieties, but it actually works. That's what it's designed for.
Well, after seeing a couple of the pictures on Instagram, I try to communicate with all types of gromies from all around the world. Really inspired by this plant. And like when you see those plants that are fucking over 10 feet tall, fucking growing in the desert where there's like no water around, like that plant is just really reaching underneath the ground looking for that water source.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy to see. I was like, and they look all amazing, no deficiencies or nothing, and you just and all you see is them producing nothing but hash. So
and high quality hash at that. You would be amazed at the quality that's happening, and half of them don't even have electricity. That's what I noticed, is a lot of them didn't have many resources, and everything was passed down. And the coolest people that I met in Afghanistan were the hash farmers. So I met tons of people.
I figured they'd be pretty chill.
Yeah, they're super cool, super approachable, really caring, and extremely kind. Like, so we were having trouble getting resupplies because our convoys would get blown up, and so they would give us goats and stuff to grill. And so they're super kind, and helped us build a well and all types of stuff. So I owe a lot to these people, and so we built a friendship over the 7 months we were together. And so yeah, shout out Afghanistan. That if I could ever retire somewhere, it could probably possibly be there. I really miss it.
Just go hang out with all the landrace Afghan Kushes and if you could go back to these countries and bring the methods that we know here and the resources, if you can pull off all of it and teach the methods back to them with the quality that we can turn things into over here, and the work that's put in isn't done in those a lot of those countries. They're still on their old methods with the resources they have available. Like Morocco, number one hash place in the world, right? If I'm not mistaken. And besides their environment and altitude and conditions and stuff, which factors in a lot, but if they're just their process, if they had like the equipment to process, they do.
Morocco just
and some of them. Okay. See, I need to catch up now.
Just completely legitimized the industry and is now supporting the hash industry. And they're actually exporting. I think they were the first country to export weed. I'm not entirely positive that's true. But they definitely are exporting now. So at Turismo, I agree.
I was thinking the same.
A lot of quality. But also we gain a lot of quality. There's pros and cons to everything, right?
Yeah. So you're unlocking.
I feel like there's more gains.
I think the gains outweigh the. So, for instance, right? Outdoor weed is amazing, and in my opinion, it's superior to indoor if you do it right. Right. The amount of the terps and the radiation from the sun does something to this plant that a grow light can never do. But the problem with being outdoors is you're covered in dirt. Like, literally, if you don't wash your car for 3 months, how dirty is it? Well, your weed gets the same amount of dirt on it. So yes, the methods of extracting it, like where they bang the screen and they have this drum and they just shake it. I imagine that even though it's high quality, it's probably destroying the trichomes. So, There's better ways. There's better ways to extract it. Yeah, dirty terps.
Dirty
terps. But that's why that's why you see hash is brown, is because it's mostly dirty, and they're just smashing up the trichomes, which makes them turn brown, oxidize. So yeah, I think we lose a lot as far as gardening more than harvesting with old methods. Like, old ways of growing are far superior, because what could be nature, right? And so and what is it called? Sustainability, right? I don't know what the word is for it, but being able to basically use what's there. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. And so there's something to be said about growing organically versus hydro or synthetically, Oh, that's congratulations, Turismo. It's definitely different. And if you do it right, it's really good.
Do you follow the Indian Landrace Exchange? That's on Instagram. No. Oh, it's an awesome account. But they literally document the different strains and with the different farmers that are down there. They even sell like the books of the seeds once they do a complete line of them. But they're the original Landrace.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them. They do great work.
It's just kind of cool to see that side of it.
Yeah, it's really eye-opening. It really is. And I actually have a couple of seeds too, from Afghanistan, that I've incorporated into my genetics as well. So it's really robust stuff. The Afghan stuff and the Vietnamese stuff is some of my favorite stuff.
Okay, well, tell them a little more about what genetics you've made so far, because we haven't talked about that you breed as well.
Oh, you breed, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. I would rather just stick to the soil, but yeah, you can go see my seeds at gatsorganic.com. I mainly do, so I don't really focus on like what's popular at the time. I do stuff that I like, and stuff that's going to be like, for me, I started making seeds for people to grow to sell, right? It wasn't for hobbyists. My first seeds that I was producing for people that wanted a unique flavor to compete in a market. And so what you need is resilience. You need pest control. You need something that's going to be, mold resistant. There you go. Yeah. So those are some of the new ones. I have a couple that aren't even up there. Nice. But Audrey Hayes is super cool. Forgetful Falcon, super cool.
I've had the original Falcon. There's a Forgetful Falcon now.
Yeah, so Forgetful Falcon is a haze combined with Blue Falcon. So it's Neville's haze. I don't know if you're familiar with Neville from Amsterdam or whatever.
No, I'm not.
But Neville is the one that introduced the Northern Lights line.
Nice.
So NL2, NL5, NL7, NL6. All the Northern Lights. And so I have a haze plant from 1970 something, and so I combined it with my Blue Falcon, and it's like a hazy falcon. It's essentially like the best of both worlds. It's I wouldn't say it's an indoor strain, but you can definitely grow it indoors. And so for my travels and stuff, I've gotten a lot of connections and a lot of relationships with people. And so some of these genetics are extremely cool. Like, I would just suggest going to the website and checking them out. I could talk your ear off on genetics, but the soil, but you can get seeds from any, and you see they're $20 a pack. I don't rip people off. Like, these are world-class genetics. I'm just doing it because I love it, and this is what I like to do.
And I love regs.
Oh, they're all reg photo period. I don't do anything else. Yeah, I would never touch it. I'll never do it. Wapple is one of my favorites. 99 balloons. 99 balloons Wapple? Is going to be, Wapple is apple, sherbet, and Maui Wowie. So it would be the 1979 Cherry Bomb Maui Wowie. And I didn't grow these. These are somebody else. Yeah, this was a first-time grower. This was a first-time grower, actually. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but the Mountain Gate Organics, the worm casting company, grew this in their greenhouse. Nice. Yeah, I just gave them. I don't know if Yeah, it is. It's a really great strain. It won't be sold out for.
What was it? 3.8.
Yeah, I'm making more. It won't be sold out forever, but that's one of my favorites. And then if you scroll down a little bit, Banana Bomb's awesome, but 99 Balloons, everybody will recognize Duke Diamond, right? And Dominion Seed Company. This is a collaboration. Yeah. It's Granny Skunk and Maui Wowie.
Nice.
So it's you see this, you can see the skunk in it right there. Yeah. And so it's.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with skunks to be able to just spot skunk.
Oh yeah, skunk looks like that.
Yeah, I'm from Wisconsin, so like skunks, I didn't learn about a whole lot of skunks until I moved to Virginia. Up there it was like Northern Lights, Friesland, Granddaddy Purple, OG Kush. That was pretty much the mains.
Yeah, definitely.
It's also like 2009, but still.
In Virginia, skunk is what's popular. So,
yeah, this is where like they all like originated or came to fruition in the U.S.
Yeah, between Richmond and Virginia Beach.
Nice.
In the triangle areas.
What up, Grown?
The skunk. Oh, can we go back? Get out of the 99 balloons. Let's go to more strains. Go down. Go down. Go down. Go down.
Hold on. Okay. I'm out of strains.
Okay, go back up.
Well, I'll definitely be sending you some of these new early.
Why is the header got to keep popping down?
Yes, I don't know. Blame my website. So Cherry Breath is gonna be peanut butter breath with Cherry Bomb, which is the Maui Wowie. There's a lot of Maui Wowie crosses right now, but Cherry Breath is super fire. Very small nugs, like, but super fire. But yeah, let's get out of the genetics and let's talk more soil. So I do genetics and stuff too. I've been growing for a long time. I do this, because I love it. It's all I want to do. It's all I think about. So Maui Wowie is definitely a great strain. So this is my website. Can you go to the help section?
Yep.
So I have a garden help tab. And so you don't have to use my soil to be able to use this, but it's got a lot of the knowledge that I have. I put it into one place. So if you click on pests, learn more on pests, is that possible?
What I'll have to do for a second, go from here back to.
Well, this might not work then because each tab is going to be, but we can just go over the page. So there's a. If you scroll down a little bit, all the basic pests are represented in this tab, and so,
I like the AI images of these pests.
Yeah, that's sick, bro.
Thank you. So all the pests are here, and I have descriptions on how to get rid of everything. I have sprays. I have hyperlinks to all the products that you might want to use.
You can click on each of these images and learn about that specific pest, right? See, I don't know how to. I figured out how to do it now.
There you go.
Right, where I don't have to. Yeah, we're good.
As you see, the sulfur dust is hyperlinked. The predator mites are hyperlinked. The insecticidal soap will go to a recipe that you can use. Brian? And then, so I have that for everything. Garden help, I also have one for disease. And then I have a compost tea schedule up there. I have an IPM schedule. If you go to the IPM tab, that might be helpful for people as well. Yeah, you don't have to leave the website. Everything that you need to know is right here. Yeah, and so this is a daily, weekly, and monthly IPM checklist. And with definitions and why you should care. So I'm telling you the temperatures you should be using and et cetera, et cetera. And I got hyperlinks to all the, potential things that you might want.
I think I made a video like a month or two ago about your website and having all this new information, but like right now we're getting the people here to really understand like how much education is available because of what you put on here.
Yeah, so this is my brain, and this is like, I'm telling you, like, this is what I do and this works. I've been doing this commercially for like over 10 years, and I don't waste money, right? Because I don't pour money into my grows. I do the bare minimum it takes to make it perfect. I don't experiment anymore. I just do what works. And so this is like a little insight into what I do, and then you can modify it to work however you want to do it. But yeah, I have compost teas, so compost teas are cool because you can do this recipe, but you can also incorporate the amendment kits, right? So supercharged and turbocharged can both be put into compost teas, and they will work with the soils in unison, especially the living soil. You don't have to do this for super soil, but with the living, the tropic, and the desert soil, you can definitely do this stuff with. And so the supercharge you would use all the way to week 2 of flower, and then week 3, 4 through 8, you do turbocharge twice. So you do it at week 2 and you do it at week 8, and then you finish off with water. But the supercharge is 14 different ingredients.
Yeah, you can go further into that too.
I'm going to tell you about the ingredients and why I'm picking those things, right? So you can scroll down too. So what's inside and why is on every tab, and every solution has an explanation as to why I'm using these things. So like it says, it provides phosphorus, calcium, and promotes root growth and for strong plants. Bone meal. Blood meal is nitrogen for leafy greener plants. Kelp meal enhances the stress tolerance. It's a natural growth hormone, and also provides micronutrients. Neem meal controls pests when I'm cooking it, and also is really good for providing a lot of nutrition like phosphorus and potassium and nitrogen. Just across the board, neem meal is really good. Alfalfa is another nitrogen, fast release nitrogen. So that's always good to have a fast release nitrogen and a slow release nitrogen, so you're not running out of nitrogen and your leaves aren't turning yellow like other soils. Other soils, you'll notice that they'll start turning yellow, and the whole reason is they're out of nitrogen. So,
feather meal fast in some of these.
Feather meal is a slow release nitrogen. Gypsum has lots of benefits besides the mineral aspect of it. It's really important for soil structure. It also retains moisture. This is cool. The biochar, same thing, retains moisture, and also, hold on. Just curious, since you are an outdoor lover, so do you think we should use any IPM? You should always use the IPM no matter what you're growing in any environment. That's the answer, short and sweet. Always IPM. The moment you stop IPMing is the moment you start getting problems. So,
I haven't done enough outdoor, but I definitely IPM indoor.
The number one thing that's going to give you issues is introducing new plants. Just don't do it. Just have a whole separate tent and make sure, like, it's pretty wild how resilient some of these pests are, and how resilient some of these diseases are, and how resilient the funguses can be. The funguses can just float in from another tent, and so it's always good to have a vacuum onto your tents, so nothing comes in, and everything that comes in is filtered. So I put filters on all my the entrances to the tents. So instead of using the side panels that flip up, I put filters in I put like a tube with a filter.
Yeah.
Like I use like really like not too dense foam that air still travels through. Kind of like I don't know if you've ever broken apart the smoke buddy. They have that layer of like that really thin layer. I don't know. They have I use filters basically. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't take this.
I could just take one of those ports and stick a vacuum filter in it.
That's pretty much what I end up doing, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Read
We need the filter pretty much
Reading
right now.
root nerves, that's exactly what you should be doing. Yeah.
Let's put this filter right here.
But I replaced them.
Out there.
I replaced them on a schedule too, so.
Definitely.
No, you gotta IPM always, because you're going outside. It's not so much the plants being perfect. It's you're gonna walk past a bush, or maybe you park your car at your friend's house, and
or you do landscaping like me.
Or you do landscaping, or you brush against your friend's rose plant that has, like, I don't know, mites, and now all of a sudden your clothes have mites, and they can stay alive for some time. They see the light, they feel the humidity from your tent, so they start moving towards it. And it's that easy. It's that easy. Or you could have a friend visit that just did some landscaping or yard work, or
take your shoes off.
Maybe your wife was in the garden, right? And she's not in tune with your tent, and she doesn't really care about your grow. So, not to say that she doesn't care, but she's just not on her radar, right? And so it could come from that. Pets are the worst, so that's a great point.
My dog is not allowed in my grow room.
So it's always good. And then and if it's none of that, there's always powdery mildew, always. So yeah, you can have perfect conditions, but why not spray just to prevent powdery mildew? So yeah, I think no matter what, you should IPM. You don't need to be using a million different products. You can just use like an insecticidal or a spinoside, or whatever you choose. I just do soap and oil. A soap and oil mix is good. You don't want to use oil too much because it'll block the pores of the plant, and then it won't be able to sweat. So the only way your plant can grow is from sweating, right? So you want to sweat your plants out a lot. And so if you start covering your plant with neem oil and stuff, you're going to start stunting the growth. Even though you're giving it hormones and stuff, you're going to start stunting some of the growth because you're clogging most of the plant up with oil. And so you'll have to wash that off before it can really metabolize.
Breathe.
It needs to be able to breathe. So if you want your plants to grow bigger faster, make them sweat. You can go past 110 degrees in veg if you wanted to. They can handle it just fine. The difference is you don't want to go more than a 12-degree shift, or you start getting powdery mildew. So that's something to keep in mind. But I sweat my plants out in veg. They go from 70 degrees to up to 110 right before flower, and then from flower I'm starting to bring them down to 80, and then 75, and then I'll finish around 70. Yeah. But yeah, let's get back into what's inside the soil. Right. So
Root
if you
Nerds,
scroll
real
down
quick, Dennis.
Yeah.
Root Nerds was saying had a rough time finding soil in local shops that doesn't have fungus gnats. Like my bag, and every bag I've gotten of yours, I haven't not had fungus gnats, luckily. But I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm not saying that his bags will never have fungus gnats, because the second that they're hanging out next to all the other brands, you never know what they're just going to mingle. But depending on the seal.
There's been a couple instances where the bag right next to mine at the store has gotten some fungus gnats in it. But generally, no. If the store is sterile and they're making sure that their soil is not wet when they store it, the fungus gnat shouldn't be an issue. Don't use Fox Farm. They suck.
Yeah, I need to stop, man. I just bought like 2 more bags, like probably a month ago or whatever, and I just recently opened them. They've just been chilling for a cool minute. I opened them, I put them in the water, the autopot system, and now there's crazy amount of gnats. Like, this is fucking crazy. I didn't have this problem.
So what I'll say to finish that off is the soil cooks at 140 degrees for 5 to 6 weeks. So there's no way for any pest to make it through that. So that's why when you use the soil, it doesn't burn your seeds or anything, because it's already been alive over a month. There's nothing. It's already, everything's incorporated and part of the ecosystem at that point. So yeah, fungus gnats aren't an issue. The best thing to do is Bacillus thuringiensis, right? Do some BT. They're stable for several years. You don't use them within a year to get the maximum benefit right away, but they'll wake right back up after 2 weeks. So you can use it 5 years from now if you wanted to. It'd be fine. Yeah. And then, but yeah, let's keep talking about the soils, because so we have the desert soil. We talked about that. We talked about the tropic soil. We talked about living soil, and we also talked about super soil, but we didn't talk about the carnivore soil that I have, because I really like Venus flytraps, and they don't sell soil for Venus flytraps at the store. And by the way, everything I'm making is stuff that I wanted. Like, it's just like, no.
Which one is that?
That's awesome.
The carnivore soil.
There it is.
Yeah, so that's a cool one. It's a pretty simple recipe. It's not probably for this crowd, but like if you buy like a Venus flytrap at the store, consider this. It'll make it grow. They're very finicky plants. They're very hard to grow, and so you can get some big ones with this soil.
See, like, just for me, since I am close to you, Dennis, I'm in the same state, I'm using the soil. This plant has already opened up my world for gardening. It's a gateway plant to gardening. I was not a gardener prior to growing cannabis. Once I got into cannabis, I already started learning some fruits and vegetables. I start learning more stuff and a lot of outdoor stuff. And I'm fascinated by things like carnivore plants and variegated plants, house plants and stuff. It's what fascinates me about your brand with all the available mixes you have is they're all for specific things. So like if I want to pick up a carnivore plant and I don't know how to grow it, I can just go get the carnivore mix and learn how to grow the plant, which brings us back to cannabis, where people need to learn how to grow, how this plant grows before they have to worry about all their environmental factors or amending soils and making mixes and just even learning pH. Like, just water the plant and it gets you started. So like I love that there's options with your company for different types of plants.
There's a potato farmer up in Minnesota that I he wrote a book. I can't remember his name. His first name starts with Glenn. I can't remember his last name, but he's a potato farmer, and he's the one that really preached soil compaction. And a lot of that all your nutrients should be inside of your soil and you shouldn't have to fertilize anymore. And it kind of just stuck with me that don't try to grow something in a soil that's not meant for it. Like all these other soil companies, they're making soils that are generic, that fit the box and can sell at retail stores like big box retail stores, etc., at a cheaper margin, at a better margin for the store, cheaper for them. So like most of the bags don't cost the manufacturer more than $10, right? But they're going to sell it for $40 because the store takes half and then they got to ship it to the store. You got to consider, and it's still selling for $40. So these bags are less than $10 worth of soil. Oh yeah, man, I can, sorry, Turismo. Yeah, we can grow pitcher plants. No problem.
Great.
Yeah, but anyways, the whole concept of APSU actually stands for Appalachian Supply, and Appalachian is the culmination of the sun's radiation, the microbiology, and the composition of the soil, including with the amount of the environment that it's in. So let's say your elevation combined with your CO2 combined with maybe your temperatures and water. And so all of that combined is your appellation. So for instance, Idaho potatoes or French champagne or, things like that. The reason they're so special is because of its appellation, and it's part of what is it called? Permaculture, right? So permaculture is super important to me because I think that's how we're going to save the planet. If you read the about section of the website, really what I'm trying to do is promote organic gardening into just general people, right? People that would never be interested in it, especially weed growers, right? Because weed growers,
yeah, look at that guy.
They'll participate, but they'll participate in stuff. But the thing is like, how can you inspire them to want to care? And so I'm hoping that my soil they'll see how amazing it is because they've used their bottled nutrients, and they've used a different soil that didn't take them to finish, and they use mine and they'll win a trophy with it. And I'm hoping that they go and try growing more plants, and they tell their friends to grow plants. And before you know it, they'll start learning about permaculture and hugelculture and all the other different cultures that exist. And I think we can, all the deserts, in Africa right now, they're digging whole circles, and these circles are getting moisture in the middle. And so succulents are starting to pop up. Those succulents are making an environment. They'll sweat more. Now there's clouds. The clouds are going to rain. They can sustain trees now. So these succulents are going to pull moisture from the soil. And slowly but surely, there's going to be brush plants and pioneering plants, and that desert will not be a desert anymore. And that's man-made. So just like we destroyed this planet, we can save it, and in a really simple way. And that's what I really want to inspire everybody to do. Is just, I think everybody froze up. Are we still live?
Yeah, we're good. Bro. I'm just frozen.
I was amazed at what you're talking about, bro.
Yeah, and so like I'm into weed and stuff, but really what I want to do is save the planet. And I think by promoting organic gardening at a very simple level to everybody. Yeah, exactly. Growing it in the 5757, it's terraforming. That's exactly what it is. It's terraforming. Permaculture is essentially planting things where they belong. And so with that concept, taking a soil sample from a certain part of the world that plants thrive in, and only growing those plants in that soil sample, it's like bringing the appellation into your home. So that's why it's appellation supply. I'm supplying you with the appellation. All you got to do now is provide the appropriate amount of sun radiation, which is sunlight, and water and environment. So my baby's crying in the background. Can you hear that?
No, barely, bro. You're good.
I feel I might have to get up in a sec, take care of that, but I'm not sure. Hopefully Mama's got it. But yeah, so that's the whole point of appellation supply. So eventually I'll have soil recipes for every kind of climate in the world. That's the goal, right? So right now I have the Congo, and I have the Amazon, I have the desert, which covers Arizona and Afghanistan and large patches of Africa too. And so I'm missing a few different biomes now at this point. I know it is. He stopped, so we're good. And I'm working on soils for other applications other than growing. So terrariums are actually a big market now. And so providing organic, chemical-free mediums for like lizards, or I think you call them what do you call them? The fucking crocodiles. What do you call those people?
Crocodile?
I don't know. I'm not a animal person. But yeah, like the cold-blooded animals, right?
Reptiles.
Reptiles. So reptiles require a very kind of specific medium to live without being poisoned, and so that's on my radar too. Is providing.
I always see them on wood chips and sticks. It doesn't seem too difficult for reptiles.
Well,
this is from an outside. I don't know shit about freaking reptiles and their environments. So like, but when I go to a pet store or something, I see reptiles. They're just in like some freaking mulch and a couple twigs to hang out on. And
yeah, but we don't know how long they'll live like that.
Yeah,
fair
like,
enough.
They're in a
Quality of life. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
most of the stuff, at least for the reptiles at a pet store, are bred in that environment, aren't they?
I don't know, but I just know that reptile owners are asking me for soil, so I've been looking
That's
into
awesome.
I've been looking into making a specific soil for reptiles.
My uncle would hit you up for turtle soil.
Yeah, I have
He's got
access to
tortoise.
all the I have access to most of the materials in raw, like in bulk, so I can make anything for any solution. But that's on my radar right now is solution for like reptiles and stuff like that. It's super cool.
For orchids and stuff like that.
You said what?
For orchids.
Orchids, yeah. So you can take the tropic soil and you can modify it. So I think you add. Let me see. I have it written down. It's not in my notes. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Like my mother-in-law's the place.
There we go.
Orchids and
what's inside tropic soil?
But that would be the base mix that you modify. Hold on.
Mango, papaya, banana, guava. Just like that guava lato auto. I keep remembering that strain name.
So all you do to the tropic soil is you add about by its volume. So let's say you have 1 cubic foot. You would add 15% orchid bark with 15% perlite. So you combine those two things, it'll water the compost down enough that it's not going to be toxic to the orchid plant, and it should thrive. And that should be a good base mix to start tailoring it to whatever you're trying to accomplish, whether that's more color or different colors or what you're looking for. But that'll give you a really
bloom, more growth, more bloom.
Yeah, so that in itself will be fine. So I would use the tropic soil with orchid bark and some perlite, and that should be a really good base for your orchids. I'm not an orchid grower. I just know it's a pretty niche type of thing, and it's hard to find the soil for it. But the tropic soil is the base you want to start with.
Yeah. My mother-in-law just has
here. Why it is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like I mean, I'm not trying to make anything that's mediocre. I'm trying to accomplish the goal of making that exact soil that you're looking for. And so so I have a couple amendment kits besides the supercharge. I have a turbocharge, which is a fast release flower amendment. You don't need very much of it. You can use it in teas. You can top dress. I wouldn't mix it in, right? I would just top dress and do it in teas, but you can definitely mix it in if that's what your plant requires, right? So you know better than I do what you might need for your specific plant. So, but I think it's a 448. I can't remember, but the turbocharge is pretty fast release, so it's not intended to stick around for too long, right? It's just designed to just immediately affect the plant. So the fishbone meal, langbonite, kelp meal, soft rock, it's all part of it.
A lot of plant num-nums.
Yeah. It's everything has a purpose. Most of the stuff has more than one purpose. And orchids are really hard to grow. So orchid growers are very impressive. If you can grow orchids, you can pretty much.
I like this section where it just tells you what plants are ideal for the turbocharge.
Yeah,
perennials, fruit trees, roses. I like it.
Yeah, all these things will require no additional inputs. It'll work as is. And then if you go lower, it'll tell you the 6 different ways you can use it. Besides,
soilless, hydroponic.
Exactly. So you can dissolve it in your reservoir.
Nice.
So you just, there you go. Let's go to
No, those are good teas. If it's stinky, it's good for it.
Oh, is this smelling for you? I don't know. I'm sorry if it smells. It's just that's the way it is. I don't think it smells too. It just smells like plant. I guess I'm just used to it at this point.
Where was I going to?
So you're gonna go to the winter charge, which is a new thing I just introduced. So I was having issues personally with my outdoor grows recharging them without having to because I was running out of room to add stuff. And so winter charge is something you can put down as late as January. Depends if you're frozen or not. If you're frozen, then obviously you can't put it down, but you can put it down as late as 2 months before you need to use it. But all this stuff is just going to recharge and break down over the winter, and it's really gonna help you get a jump start on the season. So if you combine this winter charge with the winter cover crop, if you go to the let's skip around.
Yep. I got you.
And go to the winter cover crop real quick, which is on the third row of solutions.
I was waiting to ask you about that.
Yeah,
cover
go
crop
to that.
in general.
So everybody makes cover crops, but nobody's making a cover crop specifically. Well, I mean, people are, but this one is 8 different seeds, and it's very low in fillers like clover and stuff. These are all real plants that will dig deep into your garden and break down compaction. And then in the spring, you're gonna mow them all down. And it's gonna break down and become basically humus, right? So it's just going to be a really good compost, and then it'll also introduce nitrogen and other stuff to the top layer of your soil. So if you combine the winter charge with the cover crop, you basically don't need to do much to anything. It's also really good for if your backyard is really compacted and it seems like you are getting bald spots and patches and stuff. You may put down the cover crop for a season or two and just mow it down in the summer, and then seed your yard like normal. That's always something you can do. They won't start flowering until probably late March. So as long as you mow it down mid-March, you should have no issues of it coming back, right? But it'll thrive all winter. And then not only that, more than just using it like that, they're all edible plants too. So you can grow collards and other stuff, and you can eat that stuff. But it's also really good to use as a cover crop. So we like that. Another thing to consider is I like using trap plants in my garden. So trap plants are always important. Trap plants are going to catch pests before they make it to your weed plant. Big leafy plants are really important for that. So
what up, Defy?
Are there any other products that could be considered invasive to other environments? Any shipping restrictions or part of the country? As far as I know, no.
Are you able to go to California or have your soil in Cali?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. There's no heavy metals. It's heavy metals tested, and it's really, really low. And everything that I'm sourcing, I pretty much know where it's coming from, and I can verify that it's organic. And most of it is OMRI certified anyways. So everything that I'm using in the soil is pretty much products that are already available in California. I'm not using any special anything. I mean, the only restrictions you may have is runoff, right? But that's not my soil or anything. That's your grow methods. But yeah, everything can ship to California. I have no issues with that. Everything goes to Canada, no problem, and I can go to England as well. So I haven't had issues with any of it. Yeah, it's all super organic. This is it doesn't get much more. I have more I have to post up But that's the heavy metals report for it. Go back.
Oh, my bad. I was browsing.
Yeah, so you can see the heavy metals. The number in the middle is the maximum allowed. The number on the left, right next to the arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury, that's the actual test numbers. So you can see in some cases, especially the mercury, it's 2/3 the limit, right? Or it's like you have another 33% to go till you reach that limit, and then it's really low on lead, it's really low on cadmium, and there's very little arsenic in it. So those, I think, would be the things that would disqualify it from being sold in California, and it's all low in that stuff. And as far as the nutrition goes, right here, you can see that the calcium is 1609 parts per million, right? That's pretty high. So you can see all the test numbers here. The reason I keep a lot of these things, like on some of this stuff, like the good night, Root Nerds, appreciate you. So some of this stuff I keep low because you introduce this stuff later on. So like when you water it, you're going to get some of this stuff in the water from your water table. And when you do compost teas, a lot of this stuff can pop up in the compost teas. So yeah, some of the stuff, I can't think off the top of my head, the reasoning, but a lot of the stuff, if it seems low on this, it's because you're actually going to be introducing it in a different part of your growing method. So I try to keep it so you're not going to spike anything later on. So this is the
teas.
The teas, huh?
Yeah, I was looking at the tea schedules.
Yeah.
What do you want to bring up?
The next thing I want to talk about is the pH kits.
Oh yeah.
Is that on here?
Yeah, go to
the pH up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the acid drop or whatever drop that.
Yeah. So go up.
Yeah, rise up and drop
rise
acid.
Up and drop acid. So it's a pH up is the rise up if you want to click on that, and it's got dolomite, wood ash, oyster shell, gypsum, bone meal, and humic acid, and it's a fast action pH that will raise. It'll raise 1 cubic foot. You use this bag with 1 cubic foot of soil, and it's going to raise at 1 point. So let's say you just finished a harvest with something that is acidic, but you want to grow something that's more alkaline. You would use this kit to switch crops. So you can use the same soil for different crops. You're starting off fresh, right? So if you grow weed for 2 seasons, it's going to drop the pH of that soil probably to 6. And so it started off at 7. So if you want to get back up to 7, you just do a pH kit. Or let's say you're making your own soil and your pH is actually just a little bit too low to be optimal, you can add this to the soil you're making. And I sell it by volume as well. And then if we go to the drop acid, that's a pretty cool one. That's probably going to be more used than the
name though.
Than the right. Yeah. I try to make it somewhat catchy, but these are all things that I use in my own personal garden that I've been using for a long time. And I don't know anybody that has any type of solutions like this right now. So the cool thing about drop acid is it does the same exact thing, but it lowers 1 pH point. So it's long lasting. You only have to do it like basically once until you raise it up somehow, right? But as long as you just keep giving it water at that pH, it's going to stay there. And it's pretty fast acting. Within 2 weeks, it's going to change. And so those are really cool. And then the last thing I haven't talked about is the foliar feed. And 1 gallon, it makes 256 gallons. It's a concentrate. So you can actually make it says here in the description how much it makes, but it makes a year's supply worth of foliar feed if you fed, if you sprayed 1 quart a week. So it's pretty cool. This isn't in stores yet. It will be soon, but it's going to be a 1 gallon jug, and you use half a cup to a quart, I think, and it's dope. It's the foliar feed that I've been doing for a long time with citric acid to stabilize it. So it's pretty cool. So a half a cup. It's a half a cup. It's a half cup per gallon. So it lasts a long time.
There it is. I'm sitting there staring at it.
So that's all the solutions that I have at the moment. But I have like endless knowledge and whatever you want to ask about soil, making soil. The basic living soil is going to be half aeration and water retention and half compost, and then you're going to add in your blood meal, your bone meal, and your micronutrients.
That's my store.
Yeah, I love Grow Depot.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stores in Virginia. Like he's in every store. Are you in every store in Virginia now?
Every store that matters. Yeah, there's a few stores I'm not in, but they don't matter. So
okay, so what about the people that do not live in Virginia or Maryland? I seen one on there too.
The best thing you can do is find a hydro store and beg them to buy a pallet, because I can't ship you soil.
Right.
I can ship you a pallet. A pallet costs $250. And it goes down if you get more than one, right? But I don't control the shipping price. It's not bad. But, unfortunately, I can't ship just a bag. Shipping 4 bags costs the same as shipping a pallet. So I might as well just put the 4 bags on a pallet and send the pallet.
So here's your pallet.
Right. But the thing is if the store is like, west of the Mississippi, I will drive it there myself, and we'll get you soil in the store. But that's the thing is with me, it's word of mouth. I don't hold too much weight to some of these grocery stores. They're not, they don't know about me yet. And so, when I reach out to them, they kind of blow me off. It's nothing personal. It's just, they just don't know what they don't know. And me telling them I have a water only soil, well, a lot of people are trying to say that, and a lot of people actually aren't delivering on it. And so maybe somebody else has ruined their idea of a water only soil already. And they're not open to hearing me out. And the best way is to get the customers in their ear saying, hey, I want you to buy this. And
I want you to carry this.
Yeah. But other than that, there's really no way to get I don't do direct sales. I don't do direct sales, but I can link you to people that can ship you this and amendment kits.
That's one thing I definitely recommend. Just go to reach out to your local grocers. Anybody that's out here watching, I definitely appreciate you guys. Just reach out to your local grocers, like you mentioned, and get them to try a different product that might even benefit them in the long run, versus running the products that they already use and having to get complaints or taking bags into full of fungus gnats or all these things.
It's satisfaction guaranteed here. Like I put my heart and soul into each and every bag. I use all these things myself, and on top of that, I actually grow. So a lot of these people that own these companies or own the soil companies, they're doing it because it's a market and they want to get a market sector. But the problem with that is that their heart and soul is not really in it. And so when you buy the bag, they want to get you back in there to buy supporting materials. And so for me, I don't even care if you buy my soil. I just want you to grow. But ultimately, like I've been doing this and I'm passionate about it, and I really want everybody else to be just as passionate. And when you buy the soil, you're not just buying soil. You're buying what I think is almost artwork. Like I've put years and years and years of experience into this, and the coolest part about it is you can just, instead of having to make it for 6 weeks, you can just buy it and put a plant in it like in one day. And there's something that the other companies they don't like build the soil or anybody else. Like they want you to build it yourself and do the work yourself, and I don't understand that. I mean, I guess it's fun to put it together, but like, wouldn't you want something that's perfect out of the bag for the same amount?
I think it's options, just preferences, because like for me, for certain things, I wanna just grow the plant in a soil that does all the work for me. And then on the other side of things, like I like wanting to dive deeper in it, and I you know, piecing one together myself, even if I am not like trying to do anything with it. I just want to be like, well, I made a bag. I want to, you know, like but for me, I would not go buy a kit and put stuff together. If I want to make a bag of soil and say I've got some experience putting a bag together, I'll just go to where he goes, makes them, and go help learn the process and be like, okay. And then, but with the information on his website, I can learn about what is all in it and what it's for and why. That's my favorite part, because like
you could even make it at home. The recipe's on the website. You can just make it if you wanted to.
So
I'm not stopping you.
I was like, they're offering an option also to where you can build it on your own too, which is pretty awesome.
What I'm trying to do, if you were to try to make this bag yourself, it would cost you about $80. Right? So what I'm trying to do is bring some value to you. I'm not going to manufacture the bag if you can make it cheaper. If it's cheaper for you to make it than to buy it at the store, then I'm kind of already lost. And so what I'm doing is I'm buying in incredible volumes. I'm mixing it together just so you, the end user, can kind of not have to dig deep for a whole bunch of different products. And so like I put a lot of effort into sourcing quality ingredients, more so than I think anybody else does. And so, yeah, I'm just one guy, and I have this company. I have some part-time help, and I deliver everything myself. And so, exactly, organic inputs. I put it this way, right? You can go and you can go to the grocery store, any generic grocery store like Safeway, and you can go get all these ingredients, right? But to make your meal, let's say the meal is a soil. But for me, I can't go to Safeway to buy these ingredients. I have to go to a specific all organic grocery store to buy these things, which costs tremendously much more.
Yeah, and, you get like a half or a quarter cart full of groceries for $500. Let me
put it this way: when I first started the company, Blood Mill was $40 for 50 pounds. I think Blood Mill is like $80 or $100 for 50 pounds now. You know, so yes, the price, and I haven't increased my price ever. My price has been the same. I lowered my price a little bit. So like I've been, you know, where does that money come from? It comes from my pocket. So I don't have to transfer that all the way to you. So, you know, slowly but surely, my margin's getting smaller and smaller, and I have to adjust, but I have to scale my company up before I can adjust that. And so I really need the people that are watching this and the people that will watch this in the future. You know, I know there's a lot of soil companies out there, but they're not APSU. We love you. We want to support you. We will pick up the phone 24 hours a day and guide you through whatever problem you might be having, even if it's not the soil. And, you know, and in return, please tell everybody that you know about the soil. And so we can get it in everybody's hands, because this isn't about money. It's not about anything other than just the love of growing. And, you know, I'm not out here to sell people, and it's hard for me to reach out to stores and stuff. You know, for me, it's hard to sell something that you love so much. And so I really need you guys to tell your friends and your family and tell everybody that you know about the soil and I can keep making it for a good price for everybody. And so that's like the bottom line is without you guys telling everybody about the soil, there's no way for me to continue doing what I'm doing. And I want to take a second to thank every single person that supported me, because we've never advertised or sponsored anybody. All these people that have won trophies and all these people that are doing good, they went and bought it full price at the store. And so without that, even Crimson, I've never given Crimson a bag, and he pays full price.
This is true.
And the stores aren't cheap. The stores double the price I sell it to them. So it's not my fault it's so expensive. I try my best to get it there on shelves. But the thing is the initial input is a lot, but you'll never have to buy anything else other than water.
It's regenerative.
Yeah. It is. It's good for multiple cycles too. So, when you
that is something I have to remember.
If you start amortizing it, what happens is if you can grow a half a pound per plant, right, which is about average, I think, if you're really good. If you can grow even a quarter pound per plant, and each bag supports one plant, and you can do that 4 times in a year, that's 2 pounds of weed that is award-winning if you have a good strain. So really, is the price of that bag that much when you never have to buy a bottled nutrient, you never have to buy a reservoir, you never have to buy anything other than just a plastic pot? And you don't even need to do that, because I bag my stuff in 6 mil plastic, and 6 mil plastic can be used as a planter. So all you got to do is poke some holes in the bottom.
Yep.
And then just cut the top off and put your seed in, and you can grow anywhere. And and originally in DC, that's what we did, right? We did, because it's so clandestine and stuff, you don't want to invest a ton of money into your grow, and you don't want to be having to go back and forth with nutrients and teaching new, like, especially with other like commercial applications. You can contact me for commercial applications. I support a lot of the farms in Virginia. I won't name them all, but there's at least 20 different farms that are providing consumers with end products that are on shelves that are using APSU soils solely. And so, like, it's the best solution for commercial applications, and it's also the best solution for hydro growers if they want to phenome hunt. So the only way to guarantee that it's going to get the maximum amount of nutrition that a plant might need is with this soil. There's no other soil on shelves that can feed unlimitedly, no matter how hungry your plant is. And so, like, there's a lot of pros to it, but bottom line, I really need everybody to just ask your hydro store for it and just talk about it. And the longer we talk about it, the faster we can get spread across the country, and the cheaper we can bring the bag prices down, and the more solutions we can introduce. So yeah, thank you to everybody that's ever bought a bag of soil. Like, my heart goes out to you. I'm always here for you 24/7, and my family thanks you. So thank you for everybody. And thank you, Green Year and Vixen and Crimson, for joining me for this. And
hey, you're welcome.
And I'm really looking forward to coming back. Whenever we can just talk soil. We don't even need to talk APSU. We can just talk how to build soil, how to use soil, how to reuse soil, how to re-amend soil. We can talk about soils around the world. We can talk genetics. If you want to talk genetics, we can just do a show on genetics if you like. I'm really into the genetics things, but for me right now, I got to put that on the back burner because the soil company is so important, so
I think it's just gonna blow up because, like, a lot of these brands that people know, even the home growers on different parts of the states know about brands from other parts of the states, but the East Coast is still on the rise, and your company is one of those that's just going to be a staple on the East Coast for so many cup wins and just overall ease of use in general. So, like, it's people like us, like, it's like, well, how are these breeders all popular? Because their fans made them popular. How are these brands popular? Because the quality's there and word spread. And that's how it works.
Well, I know little by little. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, what's so important to me about living soil and why I chose to go with living soil when I first grew, and I have not changed from that yet, is that I know exactly what's growing in my plant. I know exactly what's in my medicine. And from seed to harvest. I know that, we're trying to cut back across the board, as far as contaminants go, as far as chemicals go, forever plastics, you name it. Living soil, every single organic amendment is natural. Your body's going to absorb it. Your body's going to work with it. It's going to benefit you. You go and you buy prepackaged flour, you don't know what that was mixed with, dried with, sprayed with, none of it.
No, especially sprayed with. Yeah. And another thing to consider with organic grows versus synthetics is like you said, you don't know what's inside of it. And something that I've realized over many years is when you have synthetics in your flour, it expires faster. So the shelf life is a lot less, and that's scary to me because those chemicals are what's breaking it down. So there has to be chemical residuals in your flour because shelf life tests, same strain, one grown and living, one synthetic, like Athena. The Athena will be good for 3 to 6 months. I can store in a grove bag maybe. I can store my living soil flour for over a year in a grove bag, and it smokes like it was harvested a month ago. And so there's a huge difference with shelf stability when you have an organic input versus a synthetic. And to me, it's kind of like synthetics and anything other than just using amendments and living soil. What's that sound? It was distracting. So for me, I lost my train of thought, but for me, the difference between living soil and synthetics is we don't know what we don't know. And so to think that humans could create a diet for a plant when we hardly can even provide medicine for ourselves. It's kind of like, I think it's ignorant, to be honest. I don't see how we can, even with science, be able to replicate what nature perfected over millions of years. And I would just stick to just doing what nature does versus trying to do it synthetically. Not only that, synthetics, you got to package them, and the packaging is plastic, and you got to ship them, and that takes diesel, and then you got to use them, and they don't last. So you got to keep redoing it, and all the support equipment that you need for it. So I support everybody and how they grow, but the best and the only way to grow, in my opinion, would be living organic. Anything else is just a dying art, I guess. It's not sustainable. Hey, smoke in the water.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to the Growing Chat. There's a picture of a plant now in the middle of the screen.
Beautiful plant.
See, throwing my little plants up there.
You got them you have them in a cage. Are you afraid they're going to run away?
No, actually, it's a long story of how I ended up with that. It was a cat kennel that's like 4 foot by 2 foot by, and it's got multiple shelves to it. Well, I had an extra one, and I was like, dude, this could turn into a grow tent. And then it keeps the pets out of it.
Yeah.
So I have different AC Infinity lights, the bar lights going up it, and then I have Mars Hydro. I have one on the other side. Now my big tent is obviously very normal. But that one I can have about anywhere, and my pets can't get into it, where they can shred a regular tent if they wanted to. Wow. I have 2 fur balls.
Wow. That's really cool. I didn't even consider that, because I don't have pets that live indoors. All my pets stay outside. And I didn't consider that they could be tearing up the tents. Yeah. That's cool. I like your plants.
When they're little, I
Kid
have
dose
those
is like
AirPods.
plants.
Mhm.
Yeah,
What was
my
that?
fault.
Any
I
questions?
think too, when you were talking about organic versus synthetic, so many people grow for the medicinal side of it, you know, whether it's RSO or whatnot. If you're using synthetics, I mean, you've got a poor quality material to begin with. You know what I mean? As far as the plant is, if you're using it for that purpose and you're growing it yourself to have the high quality, not just a cost factor. If you're going to grow it with organics, with all the amendments to give that plant as much healing power as possible, that's where you're going to want to go with it.
Yeah, absolutely, and fundamentally, it's medicine, right? So if it's medicine, you have to grow it organically. Like if you're using chemicals to grow medicine, you kind of already lost. That's an
You might as well
excellent
be
point.
big pharma at that point.
Yeah, I don't really know why commercial operations use chemicals. Like I could streamline their system to be way more efficient with just living soil. I know they say it's too expensive or whatever but like I could imagine buying, thousands of gallons of nutrients every year is probably really expensive. When you could just, re-amend your soil bags.
I'll just touch on my preferences. If I'm flowering out and I were to compete and enter it, I'm using a living soil. I'm always going to probably use any soil. It's slower growing. Yeah, like synthetic or cocoa, hydroponic. It's a lot faster. I get it.
That's fake news. I can veg my plant in a month and a half, about 6 weeks.
And you need to teach me some of your methods because, like, I've had plants, 3 weeks ahead in soil, and then the ones behind are in cocoa, and then they just caught up with each other.
Were you using super soil then?
Yes.
Well, I can show. I mean, it's probably just lights, and like we can adjust things to make it faster, because you should be able to veg and you should be able to go from seed to flower in like less than 8 weeks.
This was when I put everything that was in the cocoa was ready for the 5x5. I put everything in, and the other ones were already in the 5x5 because they're big enough. It was just once I put them into that environment, it was shot up different light, different diodes compared to what they were in before. They were in a clone type with clone lights, and they went under a big flowering light. So it was, but for me, it's more one breeding. Like for me, you really have to dial in and know the grow before you start chucking pollen, because if you're chucking pollen with unhealthy plants, that's not good. So what I prefer, and to make it the easiest, is I use this super soil, because my last reversal I did just to make some S1 seeds for ghost farms. I had one clone of the mother in one pot and one clone of the other in the other pot in 2 different tents, and I reversed one and pollinated the other with just the water only super soil. Yeah, those. Hey, Jeff. I made those with APSU soil. Those seeds were made with APSU. And reversals, in my opinion, for breeding is one of the most delicate processes ever, because you're hormonally changing this plant's sex to reproduce itself. So this plant's focused on growing flower, growing nanners, growing pollen, and maturing seeds. So there's a lot going on with the reversals, and having any kind of a stress factor, environmental or soil related, is not something you want to have when you're reversing a plant, let alone breeding with these plants. So That's why I really love the super soil. I gotta get more of those zombies. Is all you have, like, if you want to get into just growing and growing this plant well, super soil. If you want to get into breeding and you already know how to grow a plant, but you just want to learn breeding now and pheno hunting and all that, you can just use this super soil, and it will take care of all your healthy growth the whole way for you. And that's why I love it.
Well, thank you for that, Crimson. That's a great point. I am coming out with a auto pot mix pretty soon.
Nice. I have auto pots.
Like a hybrid cocoa system. So I'm just looking for a good source of cocoa at the moment. But I'm coming out with a medium for. So the new thing that I see coming out is hybrid hydro systems. So it's going to be organic inputs in cocoa.
Okay.
And so you get the best of both worlds. So I have a medium that I've been developing. I have it made and it's working really well.
Cocoa.
Yeah.
This is the one I use.
You'd be surprised how hard it is to find by the truckload.
I can imagine.
Yeah. The quality one, quality uncompressed, unwashed. So.
Have a good night too, growing. Sorry I missed that.
Yeah. So, do you want to ask any questions or anything? I can answer anything.
I'm ready for a part 2, honestly.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like we should get
the surface here.
Yeah, I feel like we should. The Green Year should definitely do a part 2, and then make a post and get some preloaded questions in the post. And then get ready for a part 2 in a month or so or whatever.
Well, once he posts this, people can also, comment.
Yeah, they can throw all the comments and questions in the comments.
And then also do a post as well.
Yeah, I'll try to get on the video and answer questions as I can, but I'm super busy, unfortunately, but I will.
But they can go to your website and email you.
You can always, you can just text me too. My phone number's on the website.
There you go.
Whatever you need. I'm always here for everybody. Even if you're just having a bad day. You would be surprised how many people are having a bad day and contact me and, they want to quit growing or whatever it might be. And, you don't quit growing. We all have hard days.
Yeah.
So.
I can tell you from a straight rookie's point of view, the living soil where it's just everything is contained in there and it's water only, that allows me to focus on the plant, to focus on my lighting, to focus on my RH, to focus on everything else and dial all that in and not be confused with, well, dang, does it need this? Does it need that? Am I short on this? So is it this amendment causing it or is it this causing that? Totally rules out half of your problems right there.
And another thing is watering, getting your water down. A lot of people don't know how to water correctly. Right out the gate, they listen. The internet is very conflicting when it comes to watering recommendations, and what works with hydro setups doesn't necessarily work with living soil. And so the promotion for living soil and organic stuff is not as heavily funded, right? Because there's no one company that's like leading the way with or invested a lot of energy into a system or a recipe that like synthetics might, or a schedule, right? And so there's not as much information out there on how to use organic amendments, but eliminating those variables and getting your basics down is so important to a long career of growing. Otherwise you're just going to be wasting a lot of money, and eventually the people around you will be frustrated with that, especially if you have a spouse and you're wasting all the money on new grow. So great point, Vixen. And with that, thank you everybody. Thank you, Green Year, and thank you, Crimson, for joining me.
Right.
This has been a great conversation. And if you want to know anything at all, if you're watching this now or in the future, just feel free to reach out, and I'm happy to help with that or whatever it is. And then check out apsusoil.com. And then if you want genetics, you can go to gatsorganic.com, GATZ organic. GATZorganic.com.
Dude, yeah, thank you for doing everything you've done on that website and sharing that information and making it simple to understand.
I'm writing a book. So,
is it called Growing for Dummies and Breeding for Dummies? Because it's basically what this is how I learn, like when it's kind of dumbed down or broken down in a simple way to learn.
Right now, it's 172 pages so far. Every day, I write a little bit for the book, but I'm trying to come up with a manual on growing from start to finish, every aspect of it, from breeding to seed selection to environmental constraints and recommendations and everything in between. Everything that I know, I'm putting it into a book, so it's a little bit easier. So probably a couple, maybe 1 or 2 more years left, but yeah, I've been working pretty hard on the book. So hopefully that outlasts me.
Greenier, what are you doing? Quit breaking stuff.
Well, I guess it was a sped.
Wait, no, we can't. We started with technical difficulties. We're gonna end with technical difficulties. Damn it!
I'll just sit here and look pretty until Greenier can sign us out. But it's been a pleasure. I've never done a podcast like this. I've never done like a conversation with people. I haven't even done this in my personal life. I'm not very. I don't do the videos thing, so it's been a good experience to be able to talk. I know I talked the whole time, but
I was so quiet because I was just listening. I was like this, great big ears here.
I told Greenier before you were coming on, or once I found out you were going to be on his live, I was like, dude, the amount of information that's going to come out of this man's mouth, you're just going to sit there
I
and
feel
be
like
quiet.
I didn't even get to start. I just feel like I talked about my products the whole time. But there's so much I have to share.
But it was informative. It's fine.
Thank you. Yeah, I got to get to bed soon too. So thank you, everybody.
Oh yeah, I got school and work tomorrow. Yay.
Greenier, anything you want to say to lead us out? Your mic is muted.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Sorry, I'm trying to mute this background. I didn't want you.
The background's gone.
Oh, you're good. Thank you for muting that, by the way.
The whole audience appreciates.
It was driving me crazy. Like,
I wasn't sure if it was just me hearing it or everybody.
No, I heard it. I was like, oh, can I mute that? No.
Oh, and happy Veterans Day, everybody. Appreciate you.
Same to you, dude. Appreciate your service, battle, fellow veteran. And to all the veterans out there and those serving, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, tonight's been a very educational sesh. I know one thing I'm gonna be doing is gonna go to the one hydroponic store that I do know that's around me. It's like an hour away, but it's always worth the drive there because it's a family-owned business, and what they provide is similar education in their own way, and some of the products that they've been running with, they really believe in. So I want to see if that can open their eyes into your vision and what you got going on.
I love Texas. I would drive it. I would deliver it myself. I love Texas.
That'd be awesome, bro. Yeah, I was like, hopefully next time I'm in VA, I can actually bother you and just get to know you a little bit. I can go hang out, a couple smoke
Absolutely,
sets,
yeah. Just let me know when you're in town. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure Grow Depot would throw a party for you.
Grow Depot.
Grow Depot. That's how my grandfather used to say Home Depot. He said Depot.
No, it's the pot.
The pot.
You go over there and get your stuff. Yeah, you go down to that store down the road to go buy all the supplies to grow the pot, right?
Hold on a second. Hey, Smoke in the Water. One day the soils will be in Oregon, okay? But right now I can't ship anything less than a pallet. But shipping a pallet starts at $250.
Yeah, you can get a store near you to buy a pallet.
If we do like four pallets, it comes down to like $160 a pallet. So it's not too bad.
One more. Grow the popo.
So if somebody's got an F650 and can load that truck bed up and just hit a little pile of grow stores on your way back, you're gonna make some bank.
Yeah, well, that's cool, and I will do that. I will absolutely have a.
I meant somebody down in the area to come up, swoop, make around, and just take some organization.
Yeah, no, come grab a couple pallets. I can tell you what
just
stores
get a
want
pallet
some.
delivered to your driveway and start driving around.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I was going. Yeah.
I was actually thinking about that, bro. I was gonna hit you up later.
Yeah,
on a 101 on that one.
Here's the deal: if you get a pallet, you get wholesale price. You resell that to your friends or whatever at retail. You'll double your money.
So shipping advice. If you guys have any freight companies, local, smaller owned ones nearby you, if you reach out to them, once they make a delivery, like say, for example, Florida's a real popular one, they haul tons of stuff there, but it's usually an empty ride coming back. So if you can catch them coming back, you can get next to nothing for free.
Oh, that would be cool.
That makes sense because they're driving back with an empty load, and they can't always arrange to have something brought back.
Well, for reference, our company is based right next to Washington, D.C. So if they're headed to Washington, D.C., if you're watching this and you know about this and you know how to work it, as long as they're coming here, I'll meet them anywhere. But yeah, but I just wanted to answer that question, Smoke in the Water. I have amendment kits that can go to Oregon, but I can't ship soil. So the amendment kits can make the soil. I don't know. Rewatch the episode from the beginning and you'll hear all about the amendment kits. But I can easily ship those in a flat rate. So just either text or email or fill the form out on the website and I'll tell you where to find it. Okay. Other than that, I gotta get going, guys. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you again, bro.
We almost went a full 2 hours. That's awesome.
We'll go 2 hours.
Never ran out of a thing to say.
I'll set aside more time next time, and we can talk for as long as you guys want. So
maybe next time you can join us on a couple smoke sessions. Just relax.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Enjoy it. Yeah, that's really cool. More ways about you just having a good time here. That
would be great. I would if the baby wasn't right upstairs, but but yeah, definitely next time I'll be in a different environment. Maybe I'll be in the garden or something. So, anyways, thank you everybody and all the locals that tuned in. That's cool. I'll see y'all soon, and so I'll see y'all. Take care, everybody.
All right,
Thank you again, bro.
Peace. Yeah. All right, hey, and I appreciate you guys having me on, and and he's back.
I'm not good with this, bro.
No, you're not. All right, now he's all right. He has left. Okay, so we're gonna do some remedial training. And no, dude, awesome. Like it's no, you did fine, dude. Just a couple audio technical from switching the cameras, but that's just you'll be fine. But no, there was a lot of information tonight. I think soil is one of those soils on the East Coast coming out of Virginia that I believe is going to be a staple for especially. And I just learned about most of those other soils. I didn't know about the carnivore soil and that he has these soils specifically geared for specific plants. Like I like variegated house plants. I probably don't need to put those in the super soil, but the super soil actually does fine for those too. But yeah, he's got so much great information in this, and using his soil has been just I've done a bunch of different soils. I've tried dried amendments, liquid newts, even in soils and stuff. And I just, I like super soils. And everything in it is living, but it's not like everything is going to come with a bunch of bugs in it and like living, the good bugs. But like I saw a post the other day, somebody had a couple worms in their bag. I was like, yeah, there you go. They're loving it. Put your plant in there. Maybe a couple more worms, because like worms, that's probably the only thing I would add to the super soil if I just wanted to just boost up the soil a little bit more. Just throw in those worms in there, and they're gonna shed and make more worm castings and stuff, and it's just gonna keep. But this is what I was trying to say before, was I didn't know how much you can reuse it. I knew you could re-amend, right? I knew you could re-amend every soil, but I actually didn't know his super soil can be used a few times before you need to re-amend.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
That's
what did I throw away that soil for? Like, why did I just go buy a new bag? I could have used it. So now I know, like, everything that I'm using in this bag, I'm going to use again. And just make a tub full of the used soils. So, used bin.
Yeah, and then just amend it.
Fresh bin, used bin. Yep. And then re-amend, just grab that supercharged bag and use again. I really enjoyed growing in soils. Even though the strains I've made myself and grown in cocoa or grown in the super soil, the flavor just seems to come out better in that super soil, or just soil in general.
Yeah, I feel like in soil for sure.
Like I've had my donut shop in cocoa and liquid newts, and I've had my donut shop in same phenotype too, because it was a sapper that had two different mediums and was growing the same clones. And it was just, I'm trying to hope I have everything remembered correctly, but it was just, you could tell a complete difference. Not saying that the other way wasn't bad or anything. I'm not saying that. I just prefer the flavor that came from the soil versus the flavor that came from the cocoa. But when it comes to like breeding and just making seeds, it's really easy to use cocoa if you want to try to speed up the process. But like Dennis says, nothing is ever going to beat organics, especially living organics. And the power of the sun. He's right. Like I've had his outdoor organically grown, great season run stuff, and it's on point. It should win awards, or people should win awards with the soil and the flour that's produced from it. And he chimed in on quality genetics, because you got to have that too. You could have the super soil, the perfect environment, and shitty genetics, and all of a sudden you're fucked. All right, I'm gonna stop yapping because I'm getting tired too. I want to go smoke.
Yeah, well, definitely. Bro.
Not right now. No. You know me. I'm paranoid about that.
Just turn off your camera real fast, and then all you see.
No, well, like
the smoke coming
before
out.
I just go to the side. Plus, I was grabbing a plant bud. Yeah. No, I'm gonna hop out and probably head to Discord for a little bit, and then plus I gotta get up. Tomorrow's back to school day, so
definitely.
No, this has been a great live with a lot of great information. Like I'm still gonna be studying his website full of stuff I didn't know or didn't dive that deep into about, because it's like, that's why I like super water only soils. It's just like, this is the easiest way you can do this. Like, it's just water the plant, watch it grow. And the first thing you want to learn is how to grow the plant. Shouldn't have to worry about nutrient deficiencies and different problems like that. You should just water a plant and watch it grow and see how it grows. Stupid, simple. The KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid.
That'd be sweet, bro. I could just come in here.
Well, I mean, I've used water only soil. Like I've used Great Lakes water only soil before, made in Michigan. Works well for autoflowers. But the bigger the pot I've gone, the less food I seem to have. And I've used bigger pots with the APSU super soil, and that's probably why it lasts so long. Is because you can use it a few times before you have to re-amend. Mm-hmm. So if you have a long veg time, you're going to be like, well, this plant's like, in a 15-gallon pot in a 5x5. It's like, how am I going to have enough food for flour? And then you go through flour and you had enough food in there. You might not have a full second run you can pull out of that same amount of the soil, but you never know too. I mean, I learned stuff tonight I didn't know from Dennis. So every time I talk to him, it's just knowledge.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet tonight.
Yeah, and that's really what I like the most about doing lives for education and medicine, especially like you get him talking for 2 hours about genetics. Like, it's fascinating. It's like I really listen to like these breeders that are so passionate about it that they don't give a flying how much money they make with the education and experience they have. It's that passion. They're like, give me all the money in the world, but I'm not gonna do it if it doesn't feel right. Or I'm not gonna do it this way. Or I'm not gonna rush something because it sells. You know, they care about that overall end result, just like Dennis with his soil. So if you have a super soil that can do everything for you, your end result on the plant you grow, which is what we all want to do, is grow this plant or grow other plants, and then you can sustain yourself, and that's what our government doesn't want us to do. Because if everybody can take care of themselves, then we don't need them.
Yeah.
All right.
I can see that.
I'm out. I'm done.
All right.
Cut me off.
You.
All right. Good night,
Have a great
everybody.
night.
Thank you all for who came by tonight. Much love to you all, and for who rewatches this episode and learns a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, everybody.
Peace.
I just do want to give one last thing to shout out to, I guess, Kev. If you guys don't know him, he's a good friend in the background. He made me a custom wedding tray. His family member just recently passed away, so I just want to reach out to you, buddy. I know I wasn't able to go hang out with you this weekend due to certain stuff breaking down on my end. But I hope you are doing okay. But, you know, anything I can do, feel free and reach out. You know, I'm always a phone call away. I know it's always something sad to see a relative, you know, pass away, but as soon as one passes, another one arises from the ashes, you know. So stay positive. Remember all the beautiful memories you're able to have with them throughout the life. Also, my mom's friend, their daughter just recently passed. She was pretty young, and you know, sometimes we don't really have a time schedule of when our lives can just expire. So just live it up while you can. Treasure the ones that are always there for you, and just be real. You know, enjoy the life, enjoy the time that you have with people and getting to know them. And don't be shy. Just feel free and be open with the world. There's always people that are willing to accept who you are.
Exactly. Your worth is always going to be more valuable depending on where you're located.
Shout outs to literally everybody that's just been supporting Grow Me Talk Grow, Green Year, Dixon, Crimson, everybody just that's been supporting each other. Really just be there for the long run, you know, because we are here for the long run while we're here.
Yeah, this is I treat it as a long-term option, like a life term. Like, I want to keep doing this until I can't, and until I'm just, then my kid will do it, and I'll just watch him do it. I didn't do that. That's why I'm not worried about the quick cash grab or the quick fame or any of that. Like, I don't even care about it. It's just like I wanna grow plants, and I want to continue doing this. This is something I'm extremely passionate about, and I would rather do this than other stuff that there is to do in this world and experience. I'd rather, I mean, this can be just a hobby for some, or it can be a lifetime career. You know, you can turn it into whatever you want. But no matter what, whether I don't care if I make money off of any of this. Like, I just want to grow and share the knowledge with each other, and just everyone I've met in the home grower community is just, well, not everyone, but majority of everyone I met, we're all like-minded and passionate about the same things and the same plant. And we all met each other and connected and crossed paths because of this plant. So, like, it's an extremely powerful plant, and it heals. And it's going in the next 20 years. It's going to be so normalized and so government's probably going to get taken down because they lied to us for so long. You know?
We're getting there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Okay,
gonna say too, it's therapeutic. You know what I mean? Just the plant, because even if you dread, like you could be tired and you're just like, fuck, I gotta go in and trim tonight, or I gotta defoliate. It's getting too much. But the minute you get in there and you really get started, and you sit down and you're touching the plant, and all of a sudden, the script flips, and you're like, man, this is I belong in here.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways of taking on too much, overwhelming yourself.
Yeah.
But that's with anything.
Yeah.
Word.
All right. And close up shop. Let you get
home. All right.
Later.
Good night, everyone.
I gotta drive home. Later, guys.
Until next time.
Thank you again, everybody. You guys are awesome. Later.